And in the interest of time, we will call the meeting to order.
Hey, excuse me, Jay, I have the 3 buttons.
Okay, could you click claim host?
It says sign in as host and sign in.
I'll give it a try. Because I signed in as my name and password and it didn't seem to get me anywhere. And I think unless you've done it in the past, it may not take a password, but you never know.
Jay, we don't see your picture, Jay. We just see your name.
That's a good thing. Be careful what you ask. Be careful what you ask for.
Hey, Jay, we see you.
There he is.
Christy, were you able to get in?
You're muted now, Christy. There you go.
When I click on sign in as a host, my login and password come up. I click sign in and then it brings me right back to the main screen to see you.
Yeah, that's what it did to me too. So, all right, well, we'll just move on and let the chips fall where they may. Again, thank you very much. Call the meeting to order, and as is our custom, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. You all bear with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
republic for which
it
stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty,
and justice for all. Thank you. We have Colleen Getty with us this evening from the writers group. So we'll hopefully move swiftly to Colleen and get her in. Oh, I'm not sure whether her video is hung up or if she's still doing the Pledge of Allegiance, but at ease, Colleen.
It's the long version.
Until Colleen can get unfrozen, we'll move forward with the review and approval of the January 21 VAB meeting minutes that Rob so generously put together and shared with the team. Any questions, concerns, comments about the minutes as written?
No,
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to accept them as written.
except second.
David seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Colleen, I see, is unfrozen. So David will move quickly to your report. Did you just send that to me or did you send it to everybody?
No, I thought I sent it to Bob, but I guess I must have forgot. The phone rang. I was interrupted this afternoon. I think Paul got a copy and you got a
Saw
copy.
something shiny and moved on.
Yeah, well, it was busy day.
All right.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. The VSO report for the Veterans Advisory Board, February 15th. Wakefield Veterans Monthly Food Bank will be held Wednesday, the 16th, tomorrow. And Wakefield will have one additional recipient for a total of 19 this month. And as always, I was in communication with the Wakefield Food Pantry located at the Civic Center this morning, and they're going to be offering, they're probably downstairs already, the 19 bags of the dry goods, such as paper towels, shaving gear, razors, soap, shampoo, etc. I have sent them a copy of what the Greater Boston Food Bank gives us so that we're not duplicating some items. In the last couple of months, I was noticing that they were putting in tuna fish or some canned items that we had already received from the Greater Boston Food Bank. So to eliminate that from happening in the future, I am sending them over what we get from the Melrose office for what they're going to be giving us that day. The Chapter 115, we currently have 10 participants on the 115 program in Wakefield. We're quite certain there are many, many more who will qualify for this program. So we have begun a campaign within the community raising the awareness by sending out messages on both the Senior Center Monthly Bulletin and the Veterans Coffee Social newsletter, which I'll be producing for next month, as well as providing flyers to various locations, as today at the library and the U.S. Post Office in town, as well as here at the Senior Center on the table up front. We also will be sending some information to WCAT to hopefully run during the monthly community service segment of their program. We have processed 5 new disability claims for the VA for compensation. Stand by, it takes about 100 days to get them through if they even approve them. Many of the claims have been outsourced to private agencies for examinations and sometimes take several months to respond to the applicants. I've reached out and invited General McGurn, program coordinator for the Medal of Liberty out at Hanscom Field, to be our guest speaker for Memorial Day services, but I have not heard back from him as of yet. On to the Roll to DC Vietnam Veterans Era fundraising. On March 29th, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day, the Dockside Restaurant on Main Street in Wakefield will be sponsoring a fundraiser to help raise money for the Roll to DC campaign for up to 15 Wakefield veterans to take an all-expense trip to Washington on September 11th, 2022. There'll also be there'll be 15 from Melrose and 15 from Saugus joining us on the bus. But for the Wakefield resident fundraiser, it's at the Dockside. They will be donating 10% of the day's business sales towards this fundraiser. They'll also be raffling off several gifts donated by area businesses, including books of scratch tickets. The applications for the veterans who qualify for the invitation will be available at the McCarthy Senior Center Veterans Service Office after March 5th. Please call if you have any questions, 781-246-6377. As always, the Veterans Service Office continues to reach out to the community for any veteran who may need our assistance or spouses for navigating them for benefits to agencies who can give them support in many areas, including wartime bonuses. Please be sure to call the office for further information if needed. I check my voicemail daily and will respond within 24 hours. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we still have 3+ months until Memorial Day, but when do we pull chocks on General McGurn if we don't hear from him?
I'm going to call him back probably next week, first part of the week. I have a direct line to him. I sent him the email, kind of the teaser. When I call him, I'll get a response from him or his adjutant. So,
Well, I'm sure generals are very busy these days.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Any questions, concerns, comments about David's report? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to accept them as written and read.
Second.
Second by Marion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. All right, let's move swiftly on to the, going to skip the Veterans Corner articles for a moment and move on to the Veterans Writing Project, if that is the correct terminology that has been adopted. We have Miss Colleen Getty with us this evening. She is unfrozen from her position of attention during the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I must apologize that I was not able to get to the coffee social. Did one of you attend the coffee social on Saturday?
Yes, I'm unfrozen, but I'm still freezing. Well, my name is Colleen Getty, as Jay said. Thanks, Jay. And you probably met Linda Malcolm if you were at the coffee social, who is the coordinator for the senior and veteran programming for us. And we are the Room to Write. I'm the founder and director of the Room to Write, and we thank Brian for introducing us to your group. He's on our board and overall a wonderful person. But I just wanted, I'm not going to take up a lot of time and, foul up your schedule here, but I just wanted to sort of introduce myself to you guys, and anybody who wasn't at the coffee social. We're starting up we're sort of restarting all of our programming after a hiatus for COVID, as so many nonprofits have done. We just started our senior programming 2020, February, literally like 2 or 3 weeks before the pandemic started. So our timing was perfect to start and end within a month. So we had been doing some adult programming, some youth programming, and our mission is to support and connect writers. And that's of all ages, all abilities, and all means. And in that process, we had a lot of feedback. I think Dan Benjamin is in your group in some capacity. He was one of the ones telling me would really like to see some senior programming and some veteran programming. And so as we went on, more people asked for that. So we are a group of writers that don't get hung up on grammar and all of those boring parts. We want to bring writing into more of a popular mindset where people aren't, stressed out thinking of what am I going to write and all those types of things. So our first workshop was at Brightview, and we did a bookmaking workshop where we connected young people and seniors and invited seniors to bring their grandchildren or a neighborhood friend or somebody in their life that's young, because part of our mission is to connect the generations as well. And that was really great. And I talk about one lady in particular who at the beginning said under her breath, but loud enough for me to hear, she should have stayed in her room because it was, a little, our facilitator was an artist, and she's actually a singer-songwriter, and she was starting things off on a very creative, abstract note. And by the end of it, I went up to that woman in particular and asked if she still wished she stayed in her room. And she said no, she was glad that she came. So I think that kind of encapsulates what we try to do is, it's not just for people who already think of themselves as writers, because a lot of writers are hesitant to call themselves writers, but it's especially for people who maybe haven't thought of writing as an artistic medium or as just a way to express themselves or connect with others. So again, we'd love to have a place to write, but before that, we like to just connect people to a group of writers. And that's part of what we're starting to do with every age group, and especially with seniors and veterans. And Dave and Jay have been wonderful in very receptive to the idea. And so this is sort of just the first step to putting that idea out there to your group and seeing if it's something that you want to work on, because it would be sort of exploring this together. You guys are the first veterans group would be working with. So we're interested in sharing ideas with you, but we're also interested in hearing what you think you would like. And so this is sort of a exploration together, but we have some ideas up our sleeve. And one of them would be not just workshops, but also perhaps bringing in some writers, particularly veteran writers who've either published books or have, published their writing in some format to present to the group and to kind of offer some inspiration and connect with you guys. So if anybody has questions or anything, you're welcome to ask. But if you ever want to get in touch with me, theroomtowrite.org is our website. So feel free to check that out, and we'll be adding things. But my contact information is always there. Dave, I saw your hand up.
Yes, I talked with Linda at the coffee social, and I asked her about where you folks would be starting to workshop, the location. And I spoke with Judy this morning, the director here at the senior center, and you just need to contact her and see if they have it open for a day we could pick and have the workshop located here.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
Just speak
Thanks,
with
Dave.
Judy Luciano. Tell her that you'd like to know if there's a day available where you folks can come in and do a workshop, and then we could get some messaging out there into the community through many different resources. from
Yeah.
either the item or through the post office has been really good. And the library lately for communications, I put a bunch of flyers out today at the library and at the post office. And they've been a great source of communications in the community because people are there all the time. And
Yeah, the library is definitely a great community partner for us. And I heard you mention WCAT. We partner with them a lot, and actually just recently to do a video highlighting all local writers of all, genres. And so, yeah, I think Linda's, that's on her list of things to do is to reach out to Judy. So I'll let her know that you already started that conversation.
well, I just gave her a little insight into the possibility of the call coming, and her office is right next to mine, so I can torment her.
Oh, great.
know.
You can just knock on the wall.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so where we don't have a static location, at first we thought that was a detriment, but we've been doing this since 2017. And in most cases, it's actually an asset because really we think of ourselves as serving the north of Boston region. So we mix up our locations a lot. Even though we're based in Wakefield, we'll have meet and greets quarterly in different locations: Reading, Peabody, Linfield, Wakefield. So it's great to have, if anybody, in addition to Dave, has any ideas for locations, they don't have to just be in Wakefield as well, though that's where we're going to be starting. And but so we're open to your suggestions and ideas. Linda is working with Kathy Kane, who actually just retired from Merrimack College, and she was a memoir professor there, and she's very interested in helping us with this program as well. So if anybody has questions, please feel free to ask me, but I won't take up any more of your time because I know you want to stay on schedule, which I appreciate.
So next steps for us, Colleen, would you like to, as Dave mentioned, just have us put some more information out through our channels, seeking veterans who are interested in attending writing groups and, gathering a bunch of names, et cetera? Or do we set a date at the senior center or something like that and publicize that also?
I think all of the above.
Okay.
So one thing that Linda's doing right now is also reaching out to veteran authors to see if they'd like to sort of facilitate an event or present, because it's like the chicken and the egg. People want to write, they don't know what to write about. They think they don't have anything to write about. Sometimes it helps to hear stories from people that are unabashedly admit they're writers, which can sometimes be a deep, dark secret nobody wants to admit. But I admit I'm a writer. And so once people start telling stories and sharing stories, sometimes that helps. So we're sort of in the process of seeing what works best for the group. But space is definitely a good suggestion. And I think that if you guys are open to it, we're thinking of possibly, maybe supplementing one of your coffee socials with a small piece of that, depending on what your programming is there, because you already have your time and place set up. So that might be the most efficient way of doing it. But also piggybacking on what Dave said, we, not everybody can make a Saturday morning or afternoon. So Linda and I discussed how it would be nice to have another alternative day, maybe a weekday, maybe during the afternoon, where that might, be better for a different group. So, everything's on the table. When Linda gets something more concrete in terms of, location, and if she has a speaker, then we'd love for you guys to help spread the word for that and to invite people to come in. And then also at that same time, if you guys are open to integrating a program into your coffee socials, we'd love to do that as well. So you let us know what might work. If all of those things work, we'd love to do all of those. We were shooting originally for like an April time frame in terms of possibly starting things. So if that helps put that on your calendar, April would probably be the earliest we would be starting to do stuff, and hopefully that coincides with masks maybe being lifted and maybe more of a social, people being comfortable with that. And and maybe I'll get to meet you guys in person next time.
Yeah, so that would probably be like April 9th. So I think the planning is generally for the second Saturday of the
Okay.
month. You know, and we could certainly put some things out in the meantime. And I don't know whether you have any flyers or any leave behinds, because David and I are going to be at a conference out in lovely Leominster
Oh.
this week. You know, we could always throw copies of them out on a table and have, these are veteran service officers from across the state. But there's also a group that we meet with that is North Shore focused, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
We have a group in the Merrimack Valley, and we also have one that's more North Shore focused. So we could,
Okay.
We could
Yeah, that'd be
contact
great.
those two groups.
Okay, wonderful. Well, and we'll work on, now that we've sort of spoken with you guys and, getting more of a concrete, we'll offline maybe touch base again to see if maybe April 9th would be a nice start date. And then we could at least, the leave behinds could be more of a call to action and sort of specific versus more of a general thing. So,
Colleen, I'm going to be putting together a newsletter for the coffee social that I'm going to
great.
probably have it out about a week and a half before the actual social. And with discussing what we talked about the last one. And I was able to get 15 emails from the participants. So that's a start. And these 15 on this newsletter, I'm going to suggest that people might want to show up for your workshop on that day. If you just let me know what day it's going to be definitely happening in April, if it does happen then. And I'll put that in there and some facts on the program. And also, they're going to be probably bringing a little, I'll wait till we get to that discussion down the road here for the coffee social. It's coming right up, I think, next. So in lieu of that, the communication tool of a newsletter, I think, is going to be great to get this whole coffee social to grow, because I'm going to have in there people to invite. If everyone brings one veteran each time we have it, within 5 months, we should have 50, 60 people there. So.
Yeah. And I mean, and
you get me the information on that, Colleen, at some point. All right.
Yes, I will definitely.
Okay.
Yes, and another possibility for space, Joe Sullivan's very supportive of this as well. And he also said if, we wanted to use weekends or evenings in the St. Joe's Library school, we could use that as well. The only problem there is the stairs. If there's any disabled veterans, that would be a problem. But so we have a few different suggestions and ideas. And again, the more the better. So I appreciate you guys being open to this. And again, if you want to get in touch with me, Jay and Dave know how, or just go to theroomtowrite.org and you can track me down. And then also we've created a veterans and senior programming page on there. So while it's not so full just yet, soon it will have some information at least about Linda and our programming. And so feel free to, keep tabs on that as well. And I'll give you that information, Dave, to put into your newsletter too. And then the Room to Write, we're a small nonprofit, so we don't do social media, but we do update our website and we do a email newsletter. So, and then obviously we'll let Jay and Dave know of any updates specific to veterans programming. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Colleen.
Thank you guys so much. Wonderful.
Thank
wonderful
you.
to see you. See you later.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I will. Thanks, you
Thank you.
too.
All righty. Well, if any of you fancy yourself writers, some of us can probably more associate with the grammar police part of it than anything, but it's I think we had some discussions about capturing histories, memoirs. We mentioned the book written by Andy Biggio, The Rifle, which captures World War II veterans' stories. So I'm sure that you folks have a lot of stories to tell. Melinda could probably tell us some stories about Mexico and, the places like that she goes. Let's go back up. Veterans Corner. Anyone have any topics or plans to compose a Veterans Corner article? Hearing none.
I will, hold it. I just need to find the time to do it, and I will find it now that I'm onto it. It's gonna be, putting in the list of the participants for the, veteran discounts, in the community to give them some recognition, just by names. For example, at Harrigan's, I went into Harrigan's the other day to meet a friend of mine, who was giving a talk upstairs on the Civil War with, Tucker, Mr. Tucker there. And they had on the window the decal, and they honor the 10% discount on the food service there. And there's other places like Charlie's and whatnot. And I think if in the springtime coming up, Christy, we're gonna start getting this program back on board. Having it plugged into the Veterans Corner article might be the place to start. And people see it. And when we go into the stores, they might be more aware of it. So
That
I'll put
sounds-
something together. Go ahead. What do you think, Christy?
I said, I'm good with that. All for it.
Okay, good. I'll be emailing you on that.
What do you think the time frame on that article would be? Weeks or?
Yeah, a couple of weeks anyhow. It's after
Okay.
the training this week, and then the week after that, possibly more to the middle. Yeah, this is a short month. But
More out into March?
yes, definitely.
All right. Because I started pulling stuff together on just some miscellaneous benefits and the real estate exemptions and things like that, but I didn't get it finished. So, we can do more of a general article, we'll talk about the Vietnam War Veterans Day, the trip to DC, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot that we can cover. Okay, cool. Thank you. Soft Coffee Social was a rousing success.
I
thought it was great.
Yeah,
I agree.
it was good.
Um,
And Victor was very good in the assessor's office. I got a call tonight before the meeting here from a gentleman who was looking for, he says 10% disability, and he was wondering about his taxes and how he can knock it down, and can I do any more work for him on that? And I said, my job is to navigate you to the assessor's office, see them, and bring with you your DD 214 and the paperwork you have that shows your disability, and they will work with you on it. It depends on the amount of disability that you actually have. Because he said, well, they go from $400 to $1,500 on that. And I said, well, talk to Victor, because I don't think it goes that high. But nevertheless, it's,
Yeah, I mean, he has part of the story correct, but
yeah, that's
you
what
know,
I thought.
he chastises me if I don't call him Victor, but I think we need, part of that would be, we need to demystify it, and let people know what exemptions in general, like I also have some information on what disabled veterans can get benefits from the registry and things like that. So, so I mean, there are just, I don't think there are as many benefits to veterans, for veterans, as people think, but there are a lot more than people know. And
There's
there's
also exemptions for Gold Star families
Yeah.
and Golds.
Wakefield
should-
adopted the 22H at the town
Yeah.
meeting. Wakefield doesn't give as much for like the 100%ers as Saugus does, but every little bit helps. And
True.
one of the things I was thinking of putting in a Veterans Corner article, now that we've all received our excise tax bills, is the extra checkoff for donations to the Veterans Relief Fund. Because if you pay your excise tax and water bill and property tax, et cetera, online, there isn't a way for you to add the extra in the online portal. So if you wanted to do it, you'd have to write a separate check. You have to write a separate check in any case, but you'd have to do it specifically to Town Hall for either the Veterans Relief Fund or the Celebration Fund. I honestly don't know what the Celebration Fund goes to, but we can certainly talk about potential uses for the Veterans Relief Fund. Cub Scouts came,
Yes. that
handed
was
out
my-
Valentines.
Yeah.
I did send a thank you to Alex, who reached out to us on that. That must have been pretty cool, but it also gets me thinking about whether, I need to send an email to the music department at the high school, the Cub Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the American Legion, et cetera, letting them know that planning is underway for Memorial Day, and do they want to participate, so that we don't run into any problems with people thinking that they're not in the know.
I have the Valentines that the Scouts gave us. I still have about a dozen of them. And on tomorrow's food pickup, on the bags, I'm going to be dropping them into those bags. Let them know they're in there, so they'll know the Scouts did them. They're really
Cool.
cute. They're nice. They're nice.
Cool. Yeah, sometimes,
I have one here that they gave.
I don't know why, sometimes when you hold stuff up, it kind of like disappears. I don't know what
All right.
causes that. Yeah, you can see it now. Now it's gone.
Yeah, hold on.
So is your face, which is probably a good thing, but
Probably better, yeah, probably
that's
better.
a different story.
I
this
pulled it out of the
meeting-
intake valve on the plane.
This meeting is being recorded. Okay. Dan's not here, so with your permission, we'll move on past the Memorial, Vetsfield Memorial Project, unless anyone has anything new to report.
Hey, Jay, just real quick.
Yep.
I spoke to Dan at the Coffee Social, and he was trying to set up a meeting for a morning with Bob Sardella at Sardella Signs
Yep.
about final plans and all of that. Sardella is still all in on it, but he's concerned still, as I think we mentioned this at the last meeting, or Dan mentioned at the last meeting, about supply chain disruptions and how difficult it is to get materials. But
Yeah.
He had a list of dates. He and I sort of coordinated dates. We talked about that, and then he was going to talk to Sardella. And then offline, Dan and Joe and I had some conversations about how that day might work, and we kicked around some ideas, not at the Coffee Social, but just some things about refreshments and making it a little bit fancier, perhaps. Joe, feel free to jump in if you want, but
Cool.
the next step is to clarify with Sardella exactly what we have and when we may have it.
Do you think we need to engage the town council at all before we get too far down range?
I don't know, but just since you brought it up, Maureen Butt was at the Coffee Social for the duration. She was still there when I left. And Jonathan Shines came by too. And you can make the case that Jonathan came by because he's up for re-election, but Maureen's the liaison. It was nice of her to come and stay as long as she did. So it probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
I think Dan said he's pretty confident about the funding of it. So it would be the ancillary types of things that we might want to try to raise a couple of bucks for if we're going to have refreshments or do something a little bit different. But yeah, I think talking to town council is probably a good idea once we figure out exactly what we have.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Jay,
Yes, ma'am.
I told Dan, that I'd go to the council of clubs in town and inquire from the council if we maybe can pay for the landscaping that goes around there, the flowers and the shrubs.
Mhm.
I think that would be something the council would be more than willing to do when the time comes.
Awesome.
So I'm going to bring that to them tomorrow night at our meeting tomorrow night.
Awesome. I know when the last time or the only time I spoke with Mr. Fazio about this, he had some thoughts on landscaping, et cetera. So we'll just make sure to wrangle him into the loop before we
Right,
get too
because
far
I
down.
figure
range,
he
'cause-
may know what he wants, but we can
Yeah.
foot the bill.
Yeah, because, maybe it's something similar to the display that's at the corner of Veterans Memorial Common,
Yeah,
that the garden club refreshes the plants there periodically. Something, doesn't need to be ostentatious, something simple with some flowers, maybe some permanent plantings, whatever have you. So,
Yeah.
cool.
yeah. I'll
Now,
let you know at the next meeting because I'm bringing it to them tomorrow night.
Did you happen to bring, off topic here real quick, but I'll forget if I don't bring it up right now. Did you happen to bring the September trip to DC up to the Council of Clubs?
Yes, it's posted in the Elks and it's posted in
Okay.
the West Side. And they were supposed to post it. The only one that I haven't gotten to talk to was the 3 Cs because their representative was not at the last meeting and I haven't had a chance to get down there. But the
Okay.
Knights, the Elks and the West Side were supposed to have I know the Knights and the West Side is posted and the Elks and the West Side, but I think the Knights has it posted too. It has cards there.
Okay, cool. Because we did get a nice donation from the Melrose KFC. So,
Ah,
I think
good.
one of the things that David and I are on the hook for is going out and beating that fundraising tub a little bit more. So, I was going to reach out to Eric Jetta for the Elks, and I'm a member down the 3 Cs, but I hardly ever go. But I have one gentleman's email. Nabil Nakul, I could reach out to him and see if what he thinks.
Benevento Asphalt and Concrete Company, the general manager told me at the gym the other day that they're gonna be giving us $1,000 towards it.
Awesome.
That was nice. I mean, hearing it and seeing it, of course, two different things. So we'll wait. And he's
Yeah.
got time, so stay tuned.
Yeah, we
Well, let's
certainly
see if
do.
this, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay.
Go ahead, Marion. I'm sorry.
If the 3 Cs representative is there tomorrow night, I'll give him the flyers and cards
Okay,
tomorrow night,
cool.
and I'll ask Tim and make sure that they're out at the Knights of Columbus too,
Okay, cool.
just
Because
to verify it.
we're going to be releasing, as David mentioned in his report, we're going to be releasing the applications probably after the first of the month. And, based on the time frame that we need to get documentation down to Andrews Air Force Base, where everyone will be staying, all that needs to be wrapped up with Corey forms, et cetera, by the end of April. So, it's going to be a pretty compressed time frame once we start going. But there is some pent up demand, and hopefully, again, fundraising is still going to be a major hurdle. Cool. Memorial Day 2022 planning. I had a thought today to send an email, like I said, down. Is Blessed Sacrament and St. Florence, are they combined parishes now?
No.
No, they're still separate? Okay,
Um,
because I think
St. Florence, St. Florence and St. Joseph's are combined, and Most Blessed Sacrament is combined with a parish in Melrose.
Incarnation, maybe?
It might, yeah, I think it is Incarnation,
Okay.
Melrose.
Yeah, because, I think the last time we had a member of clergy from Blessed Sacrament was Father Coughlin.
Right.
Which goes back quite a ways. So they're probably due to, get pinged to see if they want to participate. So I'll reach out and see if I can get a member of clergy. And like I said, I'll reach out to those folks that have participated in the past, to give them a heads up that we're still planning it.
I will continue to reach out to the speaker, and if Joe McGurn doesn't respond to that in any way, I'll again reach out to other generals that are out there. I'll get one. I'll snag one, don't worry.
So as I think I've said, Saugus has the new CO of the Constitution as their guest speaker. They're having their parade again this year. They're planning to, they always have a parade on Memorial Day. And the female commander of the Constitution is going to be their best guest speaker. Their ceremony is on Saturday. I don't know what she's doing on Monday, but I could be wrong, but I think she has some family local. I think her maiden name was Farrell. And there's Farrell locally here. Farrell Dolan, I think is it. So, but yeah, who knows? If we can't get General McGurn, maybe we can get the new CO of the Constitution, but I'm sure that her dance card is very full. All righty. Anything else on Memorial Day? Nothing. I think we kind of touched on tax exemptions. One of the things that when I wrap it up, and I'll try to get it done this week, I'll share it with everyone here, and I'll also share it with Victor to make sure that I've got the facts straight. Because there's, the general exemption is, $400 if you're 10% to 90%, then it's up to $1,000 for 100% and 100%, 100% tax exemption for Gold Star families, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of details that I think we can help clarify for folks. Okey doke. Next on the agenda is board turnover. We've already gone through my pending departure. So I have 2 more meetings after this. So at some point, if you think it's appropriate, we should probably consider having an election, a selection, or whatever have you for quote unquote officers moving forward. There was a posting in the paper for 3 positions on the board. We have not received any applicants yet. Jackie did have to resign because she's going to be moving to Maine eventually, if she hasn't already. So we'll have some attrition on the board. So, the more the merrier, and feel free to tell your friends. Certainly appreciate all the work that's been done, no doubt about it. Next, state grant program. Before you know it, it's going to be November, and we'll be staring a deadline in the face again, and nothing on the agenda. I'm not sure we want to talk about the canon anymore, but that kind of is what it is.
Well, I was thinking with the new high school coming up too, they want to move there was some bronze plaques that were there that Scott family was concerned about, and some other plaques I have in my notes that they're at the high school now, but they're just kind of tucked away, and they would like to have them moved to the new high school.
Well, if we have the same people involved in the same mindset when and if a new high school is built, those plaques, memorials, etc., should be placed in a prominent area, very similar to what happened at the Galvin.
Right.
That wasn't even a discussion. That was as close to a no-brainer as you can get.
Yeah, it should just be part of the construction.
Because the high school's name is all together now, Wakefield
Memorial
Memorial High
High School.
All So, I, at the risk of being a smart aleck, if I live as long for the new high school to be built, we'll make sure that they have a prominent spot in the new building. I am going to go to the audit the Performing Arts Center and take the chair that we sponsored and put it in my cellar if they end up knocking that down. Any other business? Anything else for the good of the group?
We covered it pretty good, Jay.
Well, again, next month, we should probably consider, or put your thinking
Nominations.
caps on about how what the board's gonna look like post-April. And hopefully by March and April, we'll have a lot firmed up for Memorial Day. And be well underway on planning for, before something just, March 29th is National Vietnam Veterans
Memorial.
Day. I'm not sure if everybody is familiar. The Department of Defense a number of years ago created a 50th commemoration of the end of the Vietnam War. And as part of that, they created some certificates and some pins and things like that. Cities and towns have been having ceremonies over the years to recognize our Vietnam veterans. We had one a number of years ago where we had a presentation at the high school football game. The veterans were on the field for the national anthem, greeted the team as they came running on the field. It was pretty cool. We probably had, 8 or 10 guys on the field. Looking ahead, we've got about 5 or 6 weeks. I don't know whether we want to plan something as a district. I think Melrose already has something planned because they're dedicating a new memorial. Which reminds me, I'll reach out to Eric Sherman at the engineering office to see if there are any new pavers planned for Memorial Day and the Walk of Remembrance. But, the commemoration for the Vietnam War veterans, doesn't have to be, anything huge. It could be as simple as a gathering, at the senior center, a town hall, on the common, whatever have you, where we present certificates and pins, speakers, have a little collation, whatever have you. That's probably something that this board should consider having, whether we want to have something. I'll talk to Karen tomorrow at the food distribution, firm up what Melrose is doing, seeing if we want to do something as a district, and go from there. But we need, the organization at the Department of Defense needs 30 days heads up. So we only have 2 weeks to order the pins and anything else that we'll need from Washington. Okay, so we have like 2 weeks to think about what, if anything, we want to do.
The Vietnam Veterans of America organization meets at the Dockside the last Wednesday of the month. It's the day after the Dockside is doing the fundraiser for the Roll to Washington for Vietnam veterans. That's on a Tuesday. The restaurant's going to be donating the 10% of the sales for the day. And there'll be a lot of Vietnam veterans there, I'm sure, supporting that program.
How many generally meet at your meetings? How many
Usually
guys?
about 15 to 20.
And are they, is this, I think I know the answer to this, but are these all boots on the ground veterans, the mix of era veterans and boots on the ground?
There are, I think, 2 era veterans. There's some Navy guys, but they were there too in the Gulf, and Tonkin and river rats and things like that. But yeah, I would say the bulk of them are boots on the ground, Jay.
Okay. And is their meeting the week after the 29th of March, or are you meeting
The day
before?
after the 29th, I believe it's the last, I'm sending out an email this week to as one of the board members, to coordinate it. We start up again in March, and it's usually the last Wednesday of the month. And I
Okay.
believe that the 29th is a Tuesday. So it'll be the very next day, but maybe I can find out if they can move it up to Tuesday that day and have it in collaboration with the day, you know, that.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right. The 29th is a Tuesday.
Okay, so I can send an email out to the club and find out if they want to move it to the Tuesday. They're all retired or whatever, so they would have no problem moving the day, I believe. So I can find out and I'll let you know.
Because when we did, well, the VFW put it together right after I actually got the job. So this was probably 4 years ago when they did it in Saugus. They presented the pins, they presented those, the books.
Yep.
The hell's the name of it? Honor, I forget the name of the book now.
Time to honor.
Time to Honor. You know, so we could do something similar to that if we want. Do you get any Saugus veterans at that?
I think we might. We actually have on the roster, I think it's 120 members. But monthly, we only get between 25 and 30 on a good meeting day.
Okay.
Being the last day of the month. And sometimes it's different people, but I'm sure if I did a scream out, and we get more. And I can find out by having them contact me by email if they're going to be attending that day. So
yeah, see if you can do it on the Tuesday, the 29th, and see if you can take a pulse on people that have already been involved in these commemorations, and or if it's something they'd be interested in.
Okay.
Boston Veterans Center is having a big celebration at the USS Constitution on the 29th also. They're in the planning stages of that.
Yeah. David, I'm forwarding you the latest sit rep from the commemoration. I don't know if they've added you to their email distribution yet, because it came out today. I asked them to, but I don't, sometimes it doesn't matter.
I don't see it yet. I'll look it over.
Okay, anything else for the good of the group?
You see Dan Benjamin, tell him I said hi. Oh, there he is.
He's trying to get on
Actually-
right now.
I actually see Dan trying to sign in now.
Yeah, Dan, sorry. I got it, Jay. All right. I'll get back to you on that, Jay. I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay.
Next week I'll talk to him. I'll see you Thursday morning.
Hi,
Here he
Dan.
is.
I'll see you tomorrow morning, the food bank.
We're just getting ready to adjourn, Dan. Anything you got?
Good. I timed it just right.
Yeah. You just missed me droning on for an hour.
Lois, forget what I said. Open up that bottle of sangria.
Bingo. We'll get to the minutes, Dan.
Hey, Lois. Anything you guys, you got to share, anything like that?
Nope.
No?
Okay.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you all very much.
All righty.
See you soon. Thanks for everything.